Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Always Out of Market podcast. I know it's been years since you've seen us again, but we're here, me and Jason. Everybody else got sent to war, so hopefully they'll come back. We don't know.
That's not accurate. It's a lot of war going on out there. You never know if people think that it might be real. Okay.
Okay, yeah, but we're in the United States. There's no wars going on in our. Oh, is there a war? I don't even know if there is a war. Let's not get political. Well, we're going to talk about some football. We've taken a break for a little hiatus, and me and Jason just kind of wanted to come shoot the shit and talk about some games this week. So we're on week 5.
Yep.
Right?
I don't know why you looked at your watch.
I don't know.
I don't think your watch is going to tell you what week it is in the NFL.
It might. It might. But yeah, me, Jason, Ember. Is Sable in the background at all? There she is. Yeah. Hey, Sable. Yep. Me, Jason, and the dog's gonna be podcasting and footballing.
Yep. We may.
We're doing a thing though. We have picks this week of who we picked for each game, and whoever actually does the worst in picks gets fully pantsed in front of the camera next week. So ready for that.
I guess that means that they have to pants themselves because we all live separately now. So
yes. Absolutely.
Interesting. I don't remember agreeing to that, but you know what? I'll agree to it now.
Steven signed for you.
Oh, okay. Steven may eventually join us later in the season. Same with the other guys. We'll see. So, but for now, we'll hop into this episode, and we'll start with the playoff picture through 4 weeks / Thursday Night Football of Week 5. Ryan, who stands out the most to you on this graphic? Because I feel like it's pretty obvious.
I mean, for me, obviously, I'm biased in that the Seahawks, I'm very happy up there. But I think, generally, I'm fucking surprised they're here. Commanders and Steelers. I know the Vikings are going ham, but, Commanders and Steelers, I didn't think they were going to be this fucking good at this point in the season. I mean, obviously, Steelers aren't doing amazing, but Jane Daniels balling out. What the fuck?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Commanders as well. I didn't think about the Steelers, but that's a good sleeper pick.
I mean, considering they literally have two quarterback room is completely new this year, and everybody was like, "Oh, we'll just throw Russell Wilson, Justin Fields there." Steelers they're not gonna be that good this year, and then they're doing pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is kind of balling out. Maybe Chicago is the problem.
Maybe shocker, right? Who would have ever guessed that?
Also, there's a couple of teams where they're definitely the problem, kind of like Chicago, and maybe the Panthers. Sam Darnold finally, fucking going somewhere else and balling out. The Jets.
Yeah, the Jets are up there in a wild card spot. Something else is the NFC South has 3 teams that would make the playoffs right now.
The NFC South is balling the fuck out right now. It's crazy. They used to be the worst fucking division last year. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
Yes, they were terrible last year. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, I'm happy. We're Southerners. Obviously, I'm a Seahawks fan, but I'm always kind of rooting for the South a little bit to do better. Especially because the NFC South, unlike the AFC South, isn't it fully actual Southern cities?
The NFC South, yeah. I mean, Carolina is the furthest north out of them.
North Carolina's for sure in the South. You got North Carolina. You got
Atlanta,
Florida,
Tampa Bay, and New Orleans.
And New Orleans, those are all southern cities, unlike Indianapolis, which is not a fucking southern city. And Texas is fake South too, so I also consider Houston in that as well. The NFC South is the most authentic Southern conference. So
absolutely, I will fully agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured we would throw something like this in just to because we're playing catch up since we took a hiatus, but that's okay. The next thing is the key and active players. We don't have to go through all of these. I just big names that are out. Like the Bills are going to miss Ed Oliver and Khalil Shakir against the Texans. Stephon Diggs revenge game. We'll talk about that when we get to the picks. If you want to read through all these, I'm just going to say you can pause the video and read through them. I put in some that are doubtfuls or questionables. that are trending towards not playing, but most of these have already been confirmed to be out. So
I think the biggest, we can touch on a couple of the biggest ones here, which is Colts. Their fucking star running back and star quarterback apparently might be injured.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor is out already, confirmed. Anthony Richardson, they're not sure yet. I think he's like a game time decision.
It's like the most injury-prone quarterback I've seen in a long time, Anthony Richardson. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw what he said in one of the press conferences this week, but he was like, if you were out there and you were getting hit by guys going 20 miles an hour, you'd get hurt too. It's like, well, I mean, every player gets hurt, or every player gets hit. Not all of them get hurt every game.
Yep, but that's it. You're also paid multiple millions of dollars to get the fuck back up. And
yeah,
I understand. Obviously, you can't play on an injury. I understand that, but you gotta admit your body doesn't really fare well for the NFL going forward. If you're already in your year 2 of your career and you only played like fucking 30% of your games, that's not a good sign. Yeah,
it's not looking good for his long term.
Unfortunately, our first round pick is out a second week. It looks like Byron Murphy. I didn't realize he was still out.
Yeah, y'all are missing 2 DTs again this week.
That's fine. Oh, Cameron, we got Leonard Williams back, which is good. We'll have him back there. We got our linebackers. I think Nwasu was out and Mafe were out last week, so they're both back. Like that's and we'll touch on it again when we go to the Seahawks. But yeah, that's what fucked us last week. Why the Lions scored so many goddamn points on us?
Yeah,
we had no defense. Our defense. Well, we had our secondary, but our fucking front defense was just fully backups at that point.
Yeah, not able to get a lot of pressure on Goff, and that showed with his stat line.
It was 18 for 18. So.
Yeah, it showed with the stat line. Another couple more big names that are out. Micah Parsons is out for the Cowboys. Rashee Rice got put on IR this week with his knee injury. They still haven't said what it is that's wrong, which is a little fishy. The Raiders are going to be without Zamir White and Devontae Adams. Max Crosby is also questionable. Cooper Kupp is still going to be out for the Rams. The Dolphins are missing Jalen Phillips. He went on IR because of a knee injury. He's out for the rest of the year. TJ Hawkinson, I think they opened his practice window, so he should be coming back soon, but not this week. Malik Neighbors is out. Best rookie wide receiver so far this year, I think. He's out with a concussion. The Steelers are missing their 2 starting running backs. And yeah, like I said, by now you should have been able to go through and read all the players who are inactive.
I'm curious. We might have seen Rashee Rice's last game because if he goes down to reserve this year, he's got to face that fucking court at the end of the year. Right? He should have already faced with that fucking because he's a criminal.
Yep.
And if he goes to prison or jail, I don't think he's gonna come back in the NFL. So I mean, he was in a hit and run. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not a fan that he got to play this year.
Not to be the biased guy, but it is the Chiefs, so something will probably work out where he still gets to play.
Probably, but it's kind of bullshit that he was able to do that shit and has had no repercussions. Meanwhile, literal civilians got injured because of what he did.
Yep.
And he's not gotten fucking punished at all. He's still making millions of dollars. So honestly, I'm not wishing injury on any person, but I feel like it's kind of some karma biting his ass right now.
Absolutely. I fully agree, and I know some of the other guys that have been on the podcast also agree, so
yep.
We're not the only ones.
I'm not, unashamedly not a fan of Rashee Rice.
Yeah. Trying to think if there was any other players that I wanted to talk about, but I think we pretty much nailed it. The Texans are missing 3 defensive ends this week.
Yeah.
Which is...
I've never heard of any of the 3 of those, so...
I've heard of Derek Barnett. Obviously, we don't follow the Texans as closely as other people do, so I don't actually know if they're starters or not, but regardless, their depth at defensive end is slim this week. Anyway, we'll move on. This is the first week of byes, so these are the teams that are on bye this week, so we're not going to be talking about them very much, if at all. I mean, we talked about the Lions a little bit with scoring a lot of points on the Seahawks. But that's...
Titans got their first win last week.
They did.
All it took was fighting a crippled Dolphins.
Yes.
To win.
Extremely crippled Dolphins team.
And then future AFC champions right there on the bye week.
Yep, and another team that's been falling apart all the way over there to the right with the Eagles. They are.
Eagles have been falling apart since mid of last year.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. Yeah, we can get into our picks. We don't have our faces this year, just because I wanted to do something different than what we did last year, at least a little bit. So we're gonna have check marks. Some of them we've split. We'll explain who picked who, and then some of them we both picked the same team. You'll see right here with the first game on Sunday, which is in London, between the Jets and the Vikings. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. I picked the Jets. Ryan picked the Vikings. Ryan, you want to go first?
I mean, I feel like I'm the obvious choice here. I mean, the Vikings are on fire right now. They're doing phenomenal. They're on a roll. I mean, they're only 4-0. They're one of the only 4-0 is them and the Chiefs. That's where we're 4-0 teams.
Yep.
So I think they're going to great, and I don't think fucking old man conspiracy theories Rodgers and his defunct Jets are going to be able to beat the Vikings. So
the only reason I picked the Jets is just because I think after last week playing in the rain, they are gonna. I feel like they're gonna have an offensive explosion because they didn't do anything last week. I feel like at some point Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson are gonna get on the same page, and they're gonna be a pretty good duo this year. And I also just feel like the Vikings are gonna lose eventually. So
yeah.
Maybe this week having to travel to London and play a good Jets defense as well. This will be the best defense they've played all year, I think. So we'll see if Sauce Gardner is able to lock up Justin Jefferson and see if Breece Hall can get free and get the run game going.
I don't think Sauce Gardner can lock him up. Like I said, I know I say this, but other people have agreed. Sauce Gardner is, I think, overrated himself.
I was one of them that agreed with you.
Yeah, I think and Justin Jefferson is one of the best receivers in the league.
If not the best receiver.
Yes.
Yeah, he's incredibly good. I could see this going either way, though. I don't think that you're crazy for picking the Vikings, obviously.
Yeah. I think there's there's a few absolute black holes of franchises that just in any time currently or recently they've just been places where players go to have shitty careers, and the Jets is one of them. I mean, think about how many in the past Jets quarterbacks are now successful quarterbacks on other teams right now. Just an example, we got Sam Darnold. He was a Jets quarterback. He's now doing really well with the Vikings, who he's about to go against. Sam Darnold revenge game. Geno Smith, he started off on the Jets. He's balling out for the Seahawks for the past 3 years now.
Yep.
I mean, then they have Aaron Rodgers now, who was phenomenal for the Packers, but can't get shit done on the Jets, really.
Yeah.
And
well, to be fair, he got hurt in the very first game last year, obviously, and didn't play at all last year.
Talking about this year, though.
I think I'm not trying to defend him, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to give him time to get back to full form after an injury like that, which at his age is probably impossible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think the Jets are one of those franchises that are just
they'll never be good.
There's something wrong with them where it's not just unluckiness. It's like there is fundamentally something wrong about the organization that they can't have a good team.
All right, that might be the case. I'm not opposed to that being the thing for them is that they're just never good because they're not one of my favorite teams or anything.
No.
So, anyway, next one we've got on the docket is the Panthers at the Bears. Chicago's favored by 4 points. Obviously,
game of the week.
Nope, not even close.
It was the next game or
no,
2 games from now.
2 games from now.
Maybe yeah. Well, I guess with Red Rocket under the center in
for Carolina, yeah. Yeah, obviously both of us picked the Bears for this game. I almost picked the Panthers just because of Andy Dalton being the quarterback, but the Bears defense I think is too good. So I think Caleb Williams will get bailed out for the 3rd time this year. And
I'd say, yeah, the Bears will win probably, but not due to Caleb Williams again.
Nope.
I don't think Caleb Williams has not been the reason the Bears have won once, really.
I would argue he's been the worst rookie quarterback that's played so far this year.
Yeah.
Because Jaden Daniels, I think, far and away the best rookie this year.
Easily.
Bo Nix
Just him
has
go-
had his struggles. I won't lie about that, but I still think he's played better than Caleb Williams.
Yep.
What other rookies are there out there?
Drake May is back up and Michael Penix is back up.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure it's just those.
Yeah,
three,
I think it's just those three, and then we have the stud wide receivers that are out there like Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. So yeah, Chicago wins off of the defense. I really don't have a lot to say about this game.
Nope. I will not be watching it.
Yeah, I won't either.
I'll literally be headed to Chicago while it's going on. I literally fly to Chicago as this game is going on because
Maybe you'll be able to watch it on the flight.
and I'm on United, so they don't have TV screens.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
if it was, I should have on Delta, so I could have watched the game. But you can't watch live TV on Delta.
yeah, that would have been nice.
Oh well.
But next game up, much better game than that last one. The Ravens at the Bengals. The Bengals have had an abysmal year so far. They got their first win last week. The Ravens started 0-2. They've won 2 in a row now. I picked the Ravens. Ryan picked the Bengals. I just think the Ravens are going to run all over the Bengals defense. Just with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers. All those guys are going to... I feel like they're just going to run over the Bengals defense.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens are definitely the better team, but I feel like the Bengals are going to pull it together. They're going to go off the momentum of winning last week and just kind of get their shit together. Starting to get their shit together, and they're going to start doing good starting this week. I mean, starting last week. They're finally going to go to the Bengals everybody expects them to be, I think.
It could happen. This is another one that I was on the fence about until and then I thought about Derrick Henry ran for 199 yards last week. So if he does anything close to that again, there's no way the Bengals win.
He's old. He probably still sore from it.
Maybe. he is getting a little older, so it's possible. The one thing about this game is like if the Bengals beat the Ravens and the Steelers win this week, they're gonna have like a 2 or 3 game lead in that division, and I'm pretty sure that was the team that everybody had towards the bottom of that division going into this year. So that's something to look at. The Steelers are on a roll. All right, the next game. This one I think is the worst game of the week by miles.
Yeah.
You have the crippled Dolphins team and the Patriots team that they're not crippled. They just aren't good. Their defense is good. The defense is the only reason that they've been in any of the games that they've played this year. And it's a pick'em game basically. The Patriots are favored by 1, and that's just due to home field advantage. I think I was the one who picked the Dolphins. You picked the Patriots.
I picked Patriots.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what I thought.
They're not the Dolphins anymore. They're fucking they're the backups, and they've already, like the Eagles, they started doing shit last year, and they just haven't stopped being shit since then. They kind of lost their thing. Even Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle aren't doing shit because they don't have a quarterback to throw to them.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Was the reason I picked them this week is because last week when they played the Titans on Monday night, that was the first game with Tyler Huntley or Snoop Huntley as their quarterback. So I'm thinking maybe this week he's had more time, he's gotten more reps, and in practice maybe he'll be on the same page with his receivers. Maybe they'll be able to move the ball a little bit more effectively, which won't be hard.
Let's figure out what the temperature is and
Oh my God,
Foxborough tomorrow.
I almost put the weather on the slides for all these games too. I almost did it.
This one kind of does matter a little bit.
It's not going to be that cold.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I was wondering if it would be that cold because it is October, you know.
No, it won't start being that cold up there until next month, probably.
It'll be in the 60s, but no, it won't be that bad.
Yeah. Also, Tyler Huntley played for the Ravens before this.
Yeah, but the rest of the Dolphins didn't.
Well, okay. Yeah. This
It was
is
funny to watch.
Go ahead.
Say, I was speaking of temperature, I was watching the Dolphins Titans game this past week. Every single player on that field was sweating so fucking profusely because of probably how hot it was in Miami.
Yeah, hot and humid. I'm sure it was like hell.
Oh yeah, they were. I mean, they were all sweating through their uniforms. It was crazy.
Yeah, and the Dolphins have that home field advantage thing where their sideline is always in the shade and the opposing team is always in the sun, which I guess it didn't really matter that much in that game because it was on Monday night. But still, the like temperature difference is like 30 to 40 degrees from the sideline to sideline.
Yep.
Anything else on this game?
Nope.
All right. It's another game we're definitely going to be watching intently here. The Browns and the Commanders.
Jane Daniels is phenomenal. The Browns, Deshaun Watson is probably the worst quarterback in the league at this point.
He's
one of them.
He has fallen apart.
And it's great. I said more of a little bit of karma just going in there. You know?
Yep.
His career should have ended after all those the fucking sexual assault scandals.
Yep.
And what a surprise it didn't. So I'm glad it's paying.
The only thing I think that keeps the Browns in the game is the defense. The offense isn't gonna. I feel like they're not gonna do much. And like you said, Jaden Daniels has been balling out this year. He's been a lot of fun to watch highlights on. I haven't actually watched a Commanders game live this year. Why would you? But seeing highlights of Jaden Daniels, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about this game either.
Okay.
Very bland game. Now this game is less bland just for the fact of the colors of the teams.
They're more exciting, yeah.
Yeah. The Colts at the Jags. The Colts, like we said earlier, without Jonathan Taylor, might be without Anthony Richardson, which will put Joe Flacco starting at quarterback. The Jaguars have yet to win a game this year. They're the only winless team left in the league. But we both think they're going to turn it around and get a win this week. And also because our good friend Steven told us that the Colts haven't beat the Jaguars at home in forever. So we just kind of both... I originally picked the Colts, but when Jonathan Taylor was ruled out, I swapped my pick. Trevor Lawrence is terrible. And they should not have paid him all that money that they paid him in the offseason. It's crazy they paid him all that, and they haven't won a game yet. They also didn't... Isn't this another team that fell apart at the end of last year? Or like from the middle of last year?
This was my team for the go to the championship last year. You know, always pick one random team, and I'm like, they're going to the championship, and they were looking good, and then they just didn't. They started doing absolute shit.
Yep. Who's your random team for this year?
The Chargers.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's not looking terrible so far.
Yeah, because I'm fucking good at football analysis. That's why.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
All right, this might be game of the week. Potentially. Thursday Night Football this past week was great so far. Been potentially game of the year. But this one has potential as well to be an amazing game. The Bills are going to be without Ed Oliver and Khalil Shakir. Texans are going to be without Joe Mixon. I picked the Bills. Ryan picked the Texans. I don't think there's any wrong in picking either of these teams to win. Stephon Diggs' revenge game.
I think it'll be a shootout.
I hope it is, because I think this will be the game that I watch for the noon window.
Yeah.
There's so much offensive potential on both teams that it's kind of it could be like 42-40 at the end of the game. I can't pull out I think the Bills defense is going to win them this game because I think the Texans offense is too good, and I feel the same way that the Texans defense is not going to be able to stop the Bills offense. So
yeah. And the Bills just got their butt spanked last week, so I'm assuming they're going to be pretty mad.
Yeah, they got destroyed by the Ravens. It was I was excited for that game, and then it turned out to be not that fun of a game to watch.
So it could be this again. Maybe it's the Bills with the Dolphins of last year, and they just can't beat good teams.
Maybe, we'll see. This is a good test to see where they're sitting at.
Yep.
And we're getting into the late afternoon window with the Raiders at the Broncos.
The
Both
Raiders have so many goddamn injuries and it's in Mile High, so I don't think they have a chance.
Yeah, I would have been more worried about this game if Devontae Adams and Zamir White were playing. And then if Max Crosby winds up not playing as well, I really like the Broncos' chances. And we're also coming off a win against Tampa Bay and the Jets after starting 0-2. So I'm hoping we're just going to carry that momentum and just ride a nice win streak to the halfway point of the season or so. Yeah, honestly, I know this is my team, but I really don't have a whole lot to say about this other than our defense is playing out of their mind this year. We're the second ranked defense in the league through a month, and we only have one first round pick on our entire defensive roster, and that's Patrick Surtain.
Damn.
So
pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how good the defense is considering the talent that we have based off of where they got drafted.
We have at least 3 first-round picks because the past 3 years we've picked Woolen and then Witherspoon and then Byron Murphy. So
yep, how's that working out for you?
I mean, besides last week, great.
Yes, I was gonna say besides last week, it's actually been good.
If you ignore the Lions, our defense has been phenomenal this year.
The next game up, your 2 favorite teams right here, the Cardinals at the 49ers. Tied for the biggest spread of the week. The 49ers are favored by a touchdown and extra point. We both picked them. 49ers at home. I think they just have the better roster.
They do. I honestly would love the Cardinals to win just for an upset, because I feel like the 49ers are the better team, so I want the Cardinals to win because obviously I want everybody else in my division to start doing worse.
Yep.
And they already are doing bad, but
Let's say y'all already have like a 2-game lead or something like that, don't you? I think it's only 1 now technically because y'all lost to the Lions.
49ers
but
are 2-2, I think, aren't they?
Yeah. So if they lose this game, you'll have a 2-game lead over everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's why I want them to lose.
Yeah, the 49ers just have a better roster, and you said it yesterday when we were talking that they statistically have the best home field advantage in the NFL. So
yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, another division rival of yours, the Packers at the Rams.
Yep. Out of the 4 afternoon games, 3 of them involved the NFC West. So.
Oh yeah.
Everyone saw the Broncos, Raiders. Yeah.
I see. I thought you were saying there were only 3 teams in the NFC West in the late afternoon slate.
No. Every single NFC West is in the afternoon slate.
Yeah,
but.
Which makes sense based off of where they are, and they're all at home minus the Cardinals, but they're playing in San Francisco.
I guess I'm saying that as a crazy stat. I bet if you look at every single afternoon slot week, every game involved a team in the West.
Probably.
Crazy enough.
Yeah. We both picked the Packers. The Rams are another team that's just been blown up with injuries this year. They don't have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. I'm blanking on other guys that they're missing, but I know they're missing a lot of players right now. Yeah. And obviously, Aaron Darnold retired after last year, so they don't have him on defense anymore. Jordan Love came back last week. So hopefully he plays better than he did last week. He didn't play very good for the first half last week. I think the Packers probably win by at least 10 points.
I hope so. Obviously, I'm hardcore rooting for the Packers in this one. This is a weird occurrence because I don't like the Packers very much.
Yep, you're the biggest Packers hater out of our group of friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Our next one up
and
is...
It makes sense because Matthew's the biggest Seahawks hater out of our group of friends.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of the Seahawks, so that we got the Giants at the Seahawks. There's another touchdown and extra point line. I think it got affected by Malik Neighbors being out, which is really going to help y'all out, I think. Mm-hmm. I still think I would have picked y'all anyway if he did play. It's one of those, y'all just have a better roster than the Giants, and y'all have one of the best home field advantages in the league. Mm-hmm. It all adds up to the Seahawks winning. And
we're angry coming off of a pretty bad loss last week, so they're going to play our hearts out.
Yeah, I don't think y'all will have any issue taking a win out of this game.
I hope so. Knock on wood.
Yeah, y'all got one of your defensive linemen back. You said.
One of our defensive ends, yeah.
Yeah.
Leonard Williams. So like Leonard Williams, we got in the offseason. Him and Byron Murphy are our two best guys on the line. And we have a lot of good linebackers. I think we got a couple of our linebackers were out last week, and they're playing this week. So Nwasu and Mafe, I believe. And then Derek Hall, the Auburn guy, we drafted him last year. He's been starting a decent amount this year. He's been fucking balling out too, and I'm fucking war damn because it's great because it's Seahawks and Auburn. So
there you go. It's always nice. That's like for me with Patrick Surtain coming from Alabama. Yep. So yeah, it's nice when your college has a guy go to the NFL and it's your team.
Yep, and he actually does good. I mean, technically, Seahawks have one of our rookies is an Auburn cornerback, but I think
does he start? I'm assuming he doesn't start, does he?
No, he doesn't start. No, we got Witherspoon and Woolen. He's not starting.
Yeah,
but he's on the team at least.
Yeah. Well, that's going to take us to Sunday Night Football in the Steel City. The Cowboys at the Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 2.5-point favorite. Mm-hmm. Like we said earlier, the Steelers are without both of their running backs, but the Cowboys were without Micah Parsons. So I feel like it kind of evens it out. But also, the Cowboys have not been playing good this year.
Cowboys have been ass this year.
Yeah, they have fallen off. They have fallen off from where they were at last year offensively. Justin Fields has been playing crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's because, Jason, you finally admitted in the offseason that the Cowboys were one of your favorite teams. That's why they started to fall off this year.
Yeah, I mean, they have the same record as the Broncos, though, so, I mean...
Exactly. You can only, at this point, you must have cursed a witch or something in the past, since 2015, it happened. 2016.
What I was thinking when I said that was that I admitted that I like the Cowboys because of their roster and everything, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to make the Cowboys do worse, but the Broncos are going to do better now because you finally admitted it.
There you go. Yeah.
So
they'll both be average this year.
I just want a winning season from the Broncos. That's all 9-8. That's all I want.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I believe. We both picked the Steelers for this game.
They're hot right now.
Yeah, they're hot.
Simple as that.
Justin Fields is just like I said, he's playing crazy good, and I hope for the sake of him playing so good that they don't turn to Russell Wilson when he's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like you can't take the hot hand out.
Nope.
Because I once again this year said, "Oh, this is the year that they finally have a losing record under Mike Tomlin." They're 3-1 right now. They're well on their way to having another winning season.
It's crazy up there. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's all you can say. That's crazy. And that's going to take us to Monday Night Football, which is the Saints at the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites, but we both went with the Saints.
Probably because we both hate the Chiefs.
Well, I hate the Chiefs, but also the Saints' offense has the ability to just absolutely explode at any moment in time. They have so many weapons on their offense that, I mean, you can't account for all of them at a time. You've got Kamara, you have Taysom Hill, you have Chris Olave, you have Rashid Shaheed. I mean, and Derek Carr's been playing pretty well so far this year, getting all those guys the ball. The Chiefs, they obviously won't have Rashee Rice now, which makes Xavier Worthy their wide receiver 1, I would think, at this point. And Patrick Mahomes has not been playing great. He's got worse stats than Justin Fields at this point. Justin Fields has the same amount of touchdowns, less interceptions, and more yards. But
we do have to think also that the Chiefs do have the benefit of having the refs on their side.
Well, yes, that is also very true.
So, if the Chiefs do win, it's not because they're better. It's because I bet you it's a Chiefs game. There's bound to be some sort of controversial call that's going to go in the Chiefs' way.
Yep. So. I think I've seen that all their games this year have been by one score. Like, they've won by one score. So, I would expect nothing less from this game with the Saints being high-powered offense. And their defense isn't terrible either. And then the Chiefs I mean, Patrick Mahomes always figures out some way to make something happen when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that is taking out your number one wide receiver by diving at him and hitting him in the knee. Yeah, I really don't want the Chiefs to go on a three-peat this year and win the Super Bowl again. I think I might quit watching the NFL if they do. Because my body, mind, and soul can't take that. Anyway, that's going to take us to next Thursday night's game, because we're going to do the same thing we did in the past and probably record on Fridays/Saturdays. So we're not going to be able to cover Thursday night's game in the same episode. And that is the 49ers at the Seahawks. So y'all have back-to-back home games, Sunday and Thursday. This one I think is going to be a lot harder of a win than against the Giants. But obviously we both picked the Seahawks. I just don't see a way that the 49ers are going to be able to beat y'all the way you've been playing.
And they're injured, so McCaffrey won't play. I mean, probably knowing my luck, they'll put McCaffrey will miraculously be better just in time for this game.
I'd highly doubt that.
But is Samuel still out? Debo Samuel, is he out, or is he playing?
He's not on the injury report, because I would have had him on that list at the beginning for sure. So,
but it's Ayuk who's a non-factor this year, right? He's the one who pitched a fit in the offseason
yes.
and then had the shit.
Ayuk wanted that huge contract and then got it, and he hasn't done anything this year so far.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
I just love to see 49ers fail.
With Christian McCaffrey being out, the 49ers are a completely different team, I think.
Yep.
Without having him.
Yep. In the Seahawks, I think we're going to 1-1 this year. I think 49ers will win their home game. We'll win our home game, hopefully. So.
Yeah. I honestly, if y'all don't win this game, I think y'all probably will win when y'all go to Levi Stadium, because I also think y'all are going to go 1-1 regardless who wins this game. And that's just because it's so hard to beat the same team twice in a year. Yeah.
God, I hope we beat them, because I fucking hate 49ers. I don't know if y'all knew that in the podcast, but I fucking hate
If you've ever watched a single episode of our podcast, you know how much Ryan hates the 49ers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the last game for this week. Hopefully, in coming weeks, we'll have Steven come back at some point. Maybe get one of the other guys on, but there probably won't be another episode with however many of us there were, 6 of us, just because schedules don't work out anymore. And yeah, I reached out, asked Ryan yesterday if he wanted to record it with me, because I was going to do it by myself, just to do it, because I miss doing it. So, yeah. Ryan, you want to take us out?
Sure. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching. Hopefully we'll get back into the habit of doing this again. You're sure to see us again, I'm sure. We love you all. You're amazing. You're phenomenal. Subscribe, like, comment. Send Jason a DM. He loves to talk to all the fans. Love you. Bye. Oh, podcast on 3.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Podcast.